All rise. Cosmic Court is now in session. The Honorable Universe presiding. The Cosmic Court now calls case number Cosmos-2026-06-C, the Universe versus Regulus, the sign of Leo. The defendant is charged with premature coronation in the first degree. Additional charges include unauthorized occupation of a throne not yet granted, ego inflation without a permit, and confusing admiration with love. Regulus has been summoned to appear before this court because June 2026 is about to hand Leo the keys to a kingdom, and the court has reason to believe the defendant has already started redecorating. Venus arrives in Leo on June 13th. Jupiter arrives on June 29th. Between those two dates, Regulus is going to go from charming to insufferable so fast the cosmos barely has time to file the paperwork. And that is why we are here. Regulus, fixed fire, ruled by the sun, known to the court as the zodiac's self-appointed royalty. Not because anyone elected him. He just walked in, sat down in the biggest chair, and nobody had the energy to argue about it. On a good day, Regulus is the most generous sign in the zodiac. Warm, creative, fiercely loyal, and genuinely willing to set himself on fire to keep the people he loves warm. He makes everyone around him feel special because he actually means it. On a bad day, he makes everyone around him feel like a supporting character in a movie that's entirely about him. And he doesn't even realize he's doing it. That's the part that makes it worse. It's not calculated. It's just, look, the sun doesn't think about the planets that orbit it. It just shines and assumes everyone else is grateful. The court will now review the case file. June 2026 is a month that builds toward Leo. It starts quiet. Most of the early action belongs to Cancer, Gemini, and the nodes. But starting June 13th, the cosmic spotlight begins swinging toward Leo. And it doesn't stop. Venus enters Leo on the 13th. That's love, beauty, attraction, and money, walking through Regulus's front door. By the 16th, Venus trines Neptune, genuine creative inspiration, the kind that makes Regulus actually brilliant instead of just loud. And then, less than 24 hours later, Venus opposes Pluto. The charm offensive hits a wall. Someone doesn't bow. And on June 29th, Jupiter enters Leo for the first time in 12 years. The planet of expansion, abundance, and more of everything walks into the sign that already thinks it deserves more of everything. The court wants to be clear. This is not a bad month for Leo. This is, on paper, one of the best months Leo will have in a decade, and that is exactly the problem, because Regulus does not handle being given power gracefully. He handles it like someone who's been waiting for it and now feels vindicated. Let's look at the evidence. When Venus enters Leo, Regulus becomes magnetic. There's no other word for it. People will be drawn to him. Creative ideas will come easily. There's a warmth and a generosity that radiates from Leo when Venus is in the room. The kind that makes people want to be around him, work with him, love him. And on June 16th, Venus trines Neptune from Leo to Aries. This is genuine inspiration, not performance, not ego. This is the version of Leo that creates something beautiful because the channel is open and the muse showed up. This is Regulus at his actual best, not demanding attention, but doing something worthy of it. The court wants to acknowledge that. This is real. This is earned. For about 72 hours, Regulus is going to be genuinely, creatively on fire in the best possible way. The court also wants to note that Regulus is going to be completely insufferable about it, because he won't be able to tell the difference between the inspiration and his own ego. He'll think the magic is coming from him. It's not. It's coming through him. And the moment he forgets that distinction is the moment everything goes sideways. Which brings us to Exhibit B. Less than 24 hours after the Neptune trine, less than a day after that genuine creative high, Venus runs directly into Pluto, the planet of power, control, obsession, and everything hidden underneath the surface. An opposition means a standoff. Venus in Leo says, look at me, love me, admire me. Pluto in Aquarius says, I see what's underneath that and I am not impressed. This is the transit where someone doesn't clap. Someone doesn't respond the way Regulus expected. Someone challenges the narrative, questions the authority, refuses to play the supporting role. And Leo, who was riding a 72-hour wave of genuine creative magic, takes it personally, deeply, viscerally, personally. Because here's the shadow the court needs to name. Regulus confuses admiration with love. When people clap, he feels loved. When people stop clapping, he feels abandoned. And Pluto doesn't clap. Pluto stares. Pluto asks questions Leo doesn't want to answer. Questions like, would you still create if nobody was watching? Would you still show up if nobody praised you? Is this about the work or is this about being seen? Regulus is not going to enjoy those questions, but the court is asking them anyway. This is it, the big one, Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, the planet of expansion, luck, growth, abundance, and yes, and more, enters Leo for the first time since 2014. It will stay for over a year until July 2027. This is the beginning of a chapter, not a moment. And the court is filing this as evidence in a pretrial hearing because Jupiter hasn't arrived yet, not fully. Jupiter enters Leo on the last day of the month. Regulus is being tried today for what he's going to do with it. And the court already knows because the court knows Leo. Jupiter in Leo is going to amplify everything. The creativity, the confidence, the generosity, the warmth, all of that gets bigger. But so does the ego. So does the need to be seen. So does the tendency to confuse the size of the stage with the size of the person standing on it. 12 years ago, the last time Jupiter was in Leo, Regulus got a version of the same gift. The court would like to ask, what did he build with it that lasted? What did he create that wasn't about applause? What stayed after the audience left? If the answer takes too long, that's the answer. One more thing the court wants on the record. This is a pre-trial hearing. The court is being very deliberate about that language. Jupiter has not fully arrived in Leo yet. The Venus-Pluto opposition hasn't happened yet. The creative trine hasn't happened yet. None of this has landed. But Regulus is already acting different. He can feel it coming. Jupiter approaching Leo is like hearing your name being called from a stage you can't see yet. and Regulus has been adjusting his crown, straightening his mane, and rehearsing his acceptance speech since May. The court is not punishing Regulus for what he's about to receive. The court is putting him on notice for how he's going to carry it. The gift is real. The abundance is real. The opportunity is real. But gifts don't come with thrones, and abundance is not the same as superiority. The court is watching. The universe is generous, but it is also paying attention. The court has reviewed the evidence. Regulus is found guilty of premature coronation in the first degree. Guilty of unauthorized occupation of a throne not yet granted. Guilty of ego inflation without a permit. And guilty of confusing admiration with love, specifically for treating applause as proof of worth and silence as proof of rejection. Regulus is hereby sentenced to the following. Create something in June and show it to no one. Not a single person. No post. No story. No casual mention over dinner. Make something beautiful for the sole purpose of it existing. If Regulus cannot do this, if the thing doesn't feel real until someone else sees it, then that is the wound this court is trying to address. The defendant is further ordered to sit with one compliment he has received and ask himself, did that feel like love or did it feel like proof? Because those are two different things, and Regulus has been living on proof for a long time. And finally, when Jupiter arrives on June 29th and everything gets louder, bigger, and more, the court orders Regulus to pause before his first impulse and ask, is this about what I'm building, or is this about what I want people to see me building? If the answer is the second one, put it down, walk away, and come back when the motive is clean. This case is closed. Court adjourned.